Darrel, to you, your position on this changed a lot during your career, and I think I'd be right in saying, or tell me if I'm wrong in saying, that to begin with you were sort of down with the program at Guantanamo, and then you soured on it. Why? What happened there?
And when I arrived at Guantanamo, I'd served in 3 different so-called hostile fire zones. I'd had friends killed in action, 2 friends who committed suicide, and another friend who was seriously wounded in a rocket attack. And so my mindset was that I would go to Guantanamo and convict as many of the detainees there that I could and ask for as much punishment as I possibly could. Instead, what I found was that the evidence, the so-called evidence, was so disorganized or incomplete or unpersuasive that in good conscience I couldn't continue as a prosecutor. Now, I contrast that with the case that I just talked about, Al-Mari, who's being held in the United States. The evidence against him, if you look at a recent New Yorker article by Jane Mayer, is actually very compelling. There's no reason he couldn't be tried in U.S. federal court. When I went to Guantanamo, I found nothing of the sort. I mean, the one case that I prosecuted, where I actually filed charges and we went to a hearing, the Jawad case, quickly fell apart after I started to dig into what I thought was the evidence and found that what was represented to me to be the evidence turned out to be far from conclusive.
And you were one of the prosecutors on the Binyam Mohammed case, too. What happened there?
Well, that's a case that I really can't talk about because those I was at one point responsible for 1 out of 3 prosecutions at Guantanamo, and those cases, including Mohammed's, remain. The information that I have is I received through classified channels, and I really can't talk about that.
But the upshot being he was held for 7 years and now is back in the UK.
Yeah, and I can say that his defense attorneys have admitted that he did attend a training camp in Afghanistan, the Al Farouk training camp, and so he was charged with basically the same crime as Jose Padilla, or Padilla as he now calls himself, who received 17 years and 4 months after being convicted in federal court in Miami. So I saw a comment posted on a blog yesterday, and you'll forgive me for saying this, but it said guilty as hell, free as a bird, and that's what's happened to Mohammed.
Are you worried for anybody's security on the basis of his release?
Not to the United Kingdom, no, because I think he'll be under a control order there, and I think that they have every interest, certainly the present government in England has every interest in making sure that he doesn't re-involve himself in terrorist activities. Also, I think, unfortunately, he's a drug addict, and my experience with drug addicts is that they go right back to it as soon as they're able.
One last question to you on that one case. I mean, he alleges pretty serious torture. Can you address that?
No. Yeah, I can't comment on that.
Okay.